Is he in the meeting?
No.
Yep, he just popped in there.
Okay.
Just. Natalie, can you confirm when we're live? Thanks. We are live and good to go, Chair. Thanks.
Okay, great. So resuming this open meeting of the board. We are, and I see Jack is back. Thank you. Okay. Could I have someone move the rise and report item 4 from the closed meeting? Moved by Director Rainbow, seconded by Director Crompton. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And 5.1, request for decision, the approval of the Squamish-Lillooet Regional District 2021 audited financial statements. Moved by Director Crompton, seconded by Director Demare. Did you have a presentation for this?
I've just admitted Director LaFrance.
Okay. Okay, good morning, Director LaFrance. We are on 5.1, discussing the 2021 audited financial statements. I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'm the Director of Finance, Suzanne LaFrance, and we'll be going over the 2021 audited financial statements. So this year there was quite a few changes that the auditors requested. They had another set of eyes review our statements for the first time in a while. Somebody that's not usually a part of the audit team, another member of their management team. So they suggested additional changes this year. Most of them aren't significant. The one major change this year was the addition of note 8, which is a segmented disclosure notation. And basically it's due to the fact that the statement of operations, the expense side, is only separated by the segments. So these segments are basically divided by the type of service provided. So in the financial statements, it would be page 6. It's page 9 of the actual full package, but page 6 of the actual financial statements. And so there is that expenses portion, and it does say, to review note 8. And so the note 8 basically discusses each type of segment, what the services are. And I think next year I'll develop these a little bit better. This was pretty quick, and so they were done at the speed that we could do them at the time. And then following the descriptions is the actual segment of the disclosure, the schedule of segment disclosure, which shows everything by the separate segments. So all of the revenues and the expenses that are listed in the statement of operations is shown here based on this segment. So next year, this will be expanded to show the 2021 segment schedule, and then 2022 will be in addition to that note. So there's 2 comparable years. It was done pretty quick this year, so there isn't a comparable year for 2020. It's just shown on the very right-hand side at the total comparables. So other minor changes were some of the schedules were moved to the unaudited schedules. So the unaudited schedules aren't reviewed by the auditors as finally. They do review them just basically. and it's a long-term debt schedule. This is not currently required by PSAS, for the public sector accounting standards, so they just moved it to the unaudited schedules, as well as the debt services, revenue, expenses, and surplus review. So these were previously in our schedules of the statements, and now they're in the unaudited schedules. And also the COVID restart grant is an unaudited schedule. The other big change with this year is I didn't include each separate services financial statements at the end of the statements, whereas before we had included those. There just wasn't enough time to develop them, and basically the summary of operating surplus by function, which is the very last page, the last 2 pages of the financial statements, they do go through each separate service and identify the operating surplus remaining. And so that is that will be the only reporting for each separate service that the financial statements will have going forward. Any other changes were just minor. Oh yeah, they did ask me to also move the tangible capital assets schedule into the notes as well. So now the tangible capital assets basic statements showing each type of asset, and then accumulated amortization, it's on page 12. That's now part of the notes. So it's just a little bit of shift of items requested by the auditors, and I'll take any questions if the board has any questions.
Are there any questions? I don't see any. So we do have 2 motions in the package, one to approve the audited financial statements, and second to authorize board chair or CAO to sign the documents. Is that correct? Did I read those right?
That's right.
Okay. Can I have someone move those? Moved by Director Crompton, seconded by Director Weeb. Any comments? On behalf of the board, thank you, Director LaFrance, and to your team for all of the work that you put into this process. It is tremendous amount of work that goes into keeping our financial wealth and health in the organization. So thank you very, very much. With that, I'll call the question. Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for that presentation. And with that, I'm going back to my agenda. Any late business to consider? CEO Dalton? Nope, seeing none. Okay, could I have someone move adjournment of this meeting? Moved by Director Stoner, seconded by Director Crompton. Anyone opposed?